welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. So I recently just got over COVID, so I thought it would be a good idea to make a video on everything I did to get through it while pregnant, because there's really not much medicine you can take while you're pregnant. And this time around when I had COVID, it was so rough compared to the first time. So yeah, I'm just going to give you guys a rundown on everything I did to help alleviate the symptoms and make me feel better. The first thing I want to talk about is supplements. Some supplements can be helpful to take while you're pregnant, and as long as you go through all of this with your doctor, if you do have COVID, and just ask if you're able to take these things or do these things and they give you the okay, then it's okay. So I made sure I asked my doctor everything first and made sure I was able to take these supplements and certain medications and stuff like that before I actually took them, because when you're pregnant, like, you don't want anything to harm the baby, you know? So already having COVID is scary as is, but the good thing is if you do get COVID while pregnant, your baby will end up having antibodies, so that is really good. So 2 supplements that I took while I was pregnant was vitamin D and vitamin C. So vitamin D is very helpful in like just helping your immune system, as well as vitamin C, so which is why I took those things. And normally when you just get sick in general, everyone's like, take some vitamin C, take some vitamin C. So that's what I did. I continued taking my vitamin D and my vitamin C. There have been studies done that vitamin D does help alleviate some of the symptoms of like a cold or the flu while you're sick. And when you have COVID, you have like very similar like symptoms, so like having a runny nose or having really bad congestion. So that's why I took my vitamin D. There also have been studies done about vitamin C that also can reduce the severity of your cold as well. And it has also been shown to shorten the amount of time that you are sick. So that's why vitamin D and vitamin C are really good to take if you do have COVID. Some medications that I took that my doctor actually told me to take to alleviate the symptoms some more was, I had a really bad cough, I had really bad congestion, and I also had a slight fever. So my fever was ranging between 99.3 and 99.5 for like 2 days. And so what I did for my cough was I took Robitussin, and then what I did for my congestion is I took Sudafed, and then what I did for my fever is that I took Tylenol. And then because I got COVID while pregnant, the doctor also recommended me take a low dose of aspirin every day. So now I am currently taking 81 milligrams of aspirin until I give birth, and her reasoning for that was to prevent blood clots. Moving on to what I drank during this time. So the first week, so day 3 to 7, was when I was the most sick. So day 1 to 2, I really didn't feel anything, and then 3 to 4 was like the worst ever, and then 5, 6, and 7, that's when I was slowly starting to get better. So during that time, my throat also hurt, and because I had so much phlegm, I just really wanted to drink hot stuff. And when you're sick, you need to make sure you're extremely hydrated, especially while pregnant, because you can get dehydrated super quickly and then end up in the ER or something, and you really don't want to do that. So I made sure to drink as much water as I could physically handle. And then I also drank a lot of Pedialyte, because Pedialyte actually does a better job of hydrating you than water does. And then I also drank a lot of coconut water, because coconut water also has electrolytes in it, which helps with hydration. Another drink that I was drinking like literally every single day was green tea with ginger, honey, and lemon, because my throat was so sore and I was coughing so much. Just having something warm to drink was kind of like helping get rid of a lot of that phlegm. And this sounds so gross, but every time I coughed, instead of swallowing the phlegm down, I just made sure to spit it out, because you want to make sure you're getting all of that mucus out of your system. And for me personally, like, I find that whenever I had the flu in the past, and then the first time I had COVID, and then this time I had COVID, every time I get super congested and a lot of phlegm, the more I spit out that mucus, the faster I feel better. And my mucus is kind of like yellow, and so it was just like really gross swallowing that, so I didn't want to swallow it. So I made sure to spit all of that out. For exercise, I know when you have COVID, you literally can't do anything but I do strongly believe if you are able to, go outside and get that fresh air and get sunlight so you can also get that extra vitamin D. So there has been a study that was done. I can link all of this information in the description, but during the flu pandemic, when the hospitals were completely overwhelmed, they actually had to move the patients outside, and the patients who were outside actually recovered a lot quicker compared to the ones inside the hospital, and they believe that it was because the sun was shining on them. So the first time I had COVID, I literally sat outside and baked in the sun, but that was during the winter, so it really wasn't that hot. And then this time I did the same thing, but because it was so hot, I thought I was gonna pass out. So just be careful when you do that. Like, obviously don't stay out there and just bake under the sun like you're tanning, but just like go out there to get some sunlight and some fresh air, because I do believe that it is beneficial for you to do that. During day 3 and 4, I was actually not able to go outside to take my walks, but I take an hour walk with Lydia every single day. So on day 1 and 2, I was still able to walk because I literally didn't even believe I was sick. I was in denial on day 1 and 2. But then when day 3 and 4 hit, I couldn't do anything. So I did step outside, I think on day 4 for like probably 5 minutes. And then I went back inside and just rested because it was way too hot out there. And then on day 5 was when I was able to take a short walk again. So I do feel like the fresh air and the sunlight definitely did help in making me feel better a lot sooner. A natural remedy that I did for my sore throat that I've always been doing literally my entire life is that I just gurgle salt water. So I warm up some water in the microwave and then I put a bunch of sea salt in it. Like, it's so salty and so nasty, but it helps with making my throat feel better. And I think the salt water actually like kills some of the bacteria. So it helps your throat feel better faster, and then it gets rid of the bacteria in your mouth. That was everything that I did when I had COVID this time. Always double check with your doctor before you take any type of supplement or medication while you're pregnant, because my body is obviously different than yours. If you're pregnant and you have COVID, and what works for me might not work for everyone, but my doctor okayed all of this, so that's why I was able to do it. But if you do have COVID and you're pregnant, I hope these things are helpful to you, and I hope you feel better a lot sooner. But the good thing is my doctor did say pregnant women who end up with COVID, their babies are fine. Like, the baby is normally unaffected. So that was definitely very relieving for me to know that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.